Welcome back, everybody, to Thanks for Your Concern. You are here with Berenice.
And I'm Ella. Oh. What's up?
That was great. Good energy, good vibes. You get you're ready to hee hee ha ha over there.
Yeah, I've been spending a lot of time with me, so I've been having a good
Okay.
time.
The best person to hang out with is myself.
Yeah.
Felt. So
Yeah, and I feel like it's an energy. I've been it's springtime, baby, but I've been writing a lot and reflecting a lot. So yeah, I've just been in a silly, goofy mood. I had therapy earlier today, and sometimes you're like, oh god, it's so funny that I work on myself like this every week. Weird,
That's beautiful. That is
Yeah,
beautiful.
it is. What have you been up to?
Honestly, not much. I've been making a lot of outfits and stuff like that, but some things just happened recently that I'll get into this episode that just made me realize I need to chill out. You know what I mean? As much as I want to prioritize some things in my life, they do cause me a lot of stress, and I can't let go of life things that are just ultimately more important to me than worry and stress out 24/7. That's just A, not sustainable, and B, it's just I think having a good work ethic is good, but mixing that in with a good balance, because when some things are gone, what is left, you things but shifts things into a little bit of perspective. So I've been a little bit introspective, but overall, I'm in a good mood, I'm in a good vibe, no major developments as of now, which is actually really nice.
Yeah, no news is good news sometimes.
Yeah.
All quiet on the Western Front.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
What about you?
I've been having really a good old time with me, myself, and I've been thinking about going to grad school, which is honestly a cry for help,
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it is. Because I don't actually want to go to grad school, but I like the idea of grad school, and I was trying to break down why I want to go to grad school, and I just haven't learned a new thing. I haven't done math in a while. I haven't done some of the things I really liked about school, which is learning about really interesting topics that I don't know, school gives you an excuse to spend 12 hours a week learning about a subject that honestly it's really hard now to carve out 12 hours for me to learn about a singular subject. But so I've been going to Sunday school, okay, bitch. So on Sunday mornings I get up, I have creative writing class. Okay, we sit down there, we do a little creative writing homework. Then I've been doing math. Okay, I'm getting back into calculus and statistics. I used to love math. I haven't done math in so long. I do math at work, but it's a little computer does the math for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't actually do the math. So yeah, I sat down, did some revisions about some calculus. We have some fun. And honestly, it sounds like crazy cuckoo bananas, but I had a great time. And so that's my new thing.
It doesn't sound crazy cuckoo bananas at all. I've been getting a similar kick, but with something different. I've been having to navigate certain life situations where I have to negotiate things. Old me would not do that. Now, being in my position, in my job or whatever, now I'm able to do math and put statements and emails and blah 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 to different things, and every time it kind of feels like my stomach's gonna come out of my butt. You know what I mean? When I'm asking for things, but then I'm I just did that. So I look at me. So yeah, math is fun. I think that's awesome. I forget that also if you go back to school, getting into academia is another life path that you could do. I think you'd be an excellent professor. I think having a little econ class taught by Ella Tudor would be so entertaining.
It's so interesting because I loved being an econ tutor, and I swear to God, I was the best econ tutor. They're like, "Oh my god, this makes so much more sense when you tell me." And I was like, "You know why? It's because I don't have a PhD, so my head's not so far up my fucking ass that I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so hard to break down things into simple ways that people can understand. We'll do a little econ lesson really quick. Okay. Let me
Yeah.
tell you, Econ 101. Yeah, I'll do my little lesson, and it's a
Okay.
funny story, and literally everybody got it. So there's this like, okay, let me say this. Okay, so basically, when you buy a product and how much like someone is dedicated to a product, you can tell by if a price changes, how many people switch to the other product, right? And so what happened in Pullman, Washington, is that our freshman year of college, what game was it? What was the cheapest beer? It was Busch Light. Busch Light was the cheapest beer our freshman year. And then Rolling Rock became cheaper
Oh,
than Busch Light. And so
yes.
from freshman year to sophomore year, everyone changed between Busch Light to Rolling Rock because Rolling Rock was cheaper. So that's what price elasticity is that like if everyone had stayed with Busch Light, even though we the price was now more expensive compared to your other options, we would have been like, oh my god, people are committed to Busch Light. But no one gave a fuck. They're like, give us the cheapest beer possible.
Period. And
Period.
that is an excellent life, example. You broke it down into terms that were interesting for the population,
Mm-hmm.
and very easy sort of supply and demand within another econ. uh
Yeah. And everyone got it. They were like, "Oh, okay, that makes a lot more
makes
sense."
sense.
And I was like, "Yeah, makes sense. It's
Yeah.
you go with the cheaper beer. There we go. Price elasticity." Anyway, so aside from that, we're going to get into Spring Has Sprung, which will have like some more updates. I feel like we're going to update more and more talk about the theme of the week.
Yeah.
We're about to hit the March equinox, which is equal days, equal parts, day and night. That's right in between. It's not the longest day, it's not the longest night. It's 50-50. So this is the time so if you're an astrological girly, tune in, and if you're not, you too tune in too, okay? We are
Doesn't
about to
matter.
talk about spring being sprung, baby. Are we ready to get into the episode?
Let's get it.
Thanks for your concern. Spring!
Sprung.
Is it spring weather for you?
Yeah. No, it's getting warmer. Like, we really
Mhm.
got a few days of like 58 degrees. And, like, everybody was ready to go back outside, go get feral, go get a little tipsy turn in New York City. Okay, rooftop season's just around the corner. Spring is really just like the pregame of summer. So, like in that sense, here's kind of like where I'm at. I
Just pre-game a season.
I honestly love spring. I think now I'm thinking of my seasons, and I do love a fall. But spring has ultimately become my favorite season because spring just really is giving like new beginnings. Something about spring is just giving like, maybe it's because I went to Miami last year for like the start of spring, and like spring is giving house music, spring's giving like good energy, good vibes. Anything could happen. Summer is coming. You know what I mean? And like when something is about to happen, it's like your last class on a Friday before you leave, we're like, you're already kind of checked out. You're already kind of like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, that's the energy I'm bringing for spring. All right? We're starting to let our hair down.
I love it. It was like 78 degrees in Seattle. Like, it was warm. I got a little sunburnt walking the pups around Green Lake. It was, and you know what? Spring for me is like, yes, finally. Like,
Yes.
finally, I get to live in my, like, the best version of myself because, winter, so it's boring. You're inside. Like, I don't hate winter anymore. And thank God Seattle's winter was like so bearable this year. Usually it's unbearable, but this year it was bearable. Maybe it's because it was a little bit more bearable to be inside my brain, but it also was just historically not as bad of a winter. So we had a great better winter than usual, but spring, that sunshine, baby, that vitamin D, I can feel
Oof.
it, and it's like
Oof.
recharging me, symbolically and like physically. Like I literally feel recharged by the sun.
And I honestly think that's like a beautiful thing because it really allows, it gets you that energy, right? Like you've been dormant probably for the winter.
Yes.
Well, it kind of depends because, like, obviously some places don't have like drastic seasonal changes. Like both of the places we live have those drastic seasonal changes, which I always thought that I liked because it allows you to have kind of like quarterly moods. But when I did go to Mexico like a few months ago and it was like 70 degrees, 80 degrees out, I was like, wow, what a life it could be if it was always nice outside.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, different life. I don't know. I've never lived her.
I'll be honest. The birdies are quiet in the wintertime. Now I wake up and the birds wake me up. And I'm like, okay, the birds are awake. It is the sign from Mother Nature that I should be out of bed. You know, the sun is shining, the birds are chirping. Baby girl, it's time to go get productive. It's time to get out of bed. That's how I feel. That's why I'm excited about spring.
I love that. This is super side note, but yesterday I thought about getting a bird. I'll come back to that thought later.
Girl, don't do it because it's like 40 years.
That's 40 years going strong. You know what I mean? It's okay. It's story for another time. I'll get back to you later when I look more into it. But yes. But yes. Spring is springing. Things are growing. Time for new beginnings. I have been really just like realizing that life is really about perception. I had a few instances as the day was just like longer and there was more light outside and it was a little warmer, where some things went down that ultimately I think I would have been more upset about in the past. And something about being okay with something that in the past would have made you not okay is such a sign of growth to me.
Oh yeah.
Like, this is not a big deal. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, that situation sucks right now with this whole trying to start my own business and making outfits. I do a lot of good faith stuff. Obviously, I'm not losing any money, okay? I'm trying to protect me and all my little clients. But it came back to back where two people I was making outfits for essentially like bailed out of like the second payment, which is my labor, right? That's when you pay me for my labor. And it really sucks because obviously I just spent a lot of time out of my life to make these things that I'm not going to be paid for. But even when those situations happen, even though I was like a little bit like, damn, that's a bummer, I was like, I don't know, it could be worse.
I mean, yeah.
You know what I mean? So, life is really about perception because that shit did not faze me. It bothered me for a second, but in the reality, like the bigger spectrum of things, like I was like, you know what? I still had like an opportunity to create without like spending my own money. Yes, it took time, but these are things I wanted to make anyway. So I don't know what's like making my glass so full, but like I'm with it.
I mean, perception is reality, so do that with what you will. But I've been thinking about like I've been slowly watching grass grow in front of my house. And I know that sounds crazy, but it just grows a little bit every day. And then you're like, oh my God. Now it is like 6 inches tall, right? And it started nothing, like literally like 3 weeks ago. And if you don't watch it every single day, it goes from like nothing to there, you know? But if you're sitting and being conscious about it, it grows a little bit every day. And so sometimes when I think about spring, I think about like the little steps of growth, you know? Where maybe it's not a huge thing that like I don't know, it doesn't sound like crazy that like you didn't have a meltdown because someone bailed on a payment, but like that's growth, babes. And over time it's going to become like you're be a new person, you know, with where you can
Yeah.
face any challenges.
I mean, and it's not just that. Like, I think it's with anything. Like, I'm feeling a good light air. With things like if things don't go as planned. I think we're just talking about spirituality. So, like, ultimate believe that like the universe is working for me, not against me. So, like, when you really hold on to that, you're just like this. It's chill. Like, for some reason, this is gonna work out. It's going to be okay. And I don't know, like I think that's such a good feeling that you can carry on throughout like the season when you're looking for new things to start, for new beginnings, for things that may be coming up, the themes as life starts like to pick back up because people are going back outside, okay? And that means you
Woo!
beautiful self is going back outside, but the crazies are also going back outside, okay?
Yeah, I was when you were just talking about like things are working for you. I've been having the mantra of I'm co-creating with the universe.
Mm,
So I'm like creating my reality, but like the world is co-creating with me, and I
that's
can't do
beautiful.
this. I know. I've been vibing. Usually I used to switch up my mantras, but I've been really just resonating with this one, which is I'm co-creating with the universe, because it's like two halves to a whole. Like you can't create things without the universe also helping you along, and vice versa. The universe can't create things for you without you working with it towards a singular goal. You know what I'm saying? And so
Hmm.
I've just been thinking about that, where it's like, okay, things are going to work out the way that they are working out. I just need to know that I'm co creating with the universe. So maybe I don't know the entire plan exactly how it's going to work out, but I'm moving in the correct direction.
I think what's it's interesting because we really used to be really unhealthy people, just like in all the sense of the world. And sometimes hearing us talk, I'm like, is it the amount of time that has passed that we healed from things? But I also just like recognize a lot of wins like that other people are experiencing. And also like when I was in Mexico and people like reached out to me and like kind of gave me like love and positivity, that's just like so awesome to give to other people. So like you're recognizing that other people are just like in a better place in their life. It doesn't have to be like a super big win or whatever. It's always nice to be like proud of you. You're killing it, bro. Like I'm happy
I
to see it.
Yes. I mean, I try to comment on like I try to engage in my friends' posts and like, but I love just liking. Dude, I don't know why, but I used to not like people's Instagrams. I don't know why. Like I just would just scroll and I would like my faves, but I've just been liking everything now. Like if I see it, I'm like your kid's beautiful. Love this photo. You look great. Like I don't know. I've just genuinely have been blasting people because I truly believe it. I just haven't been like voicing that to people, and like maybe that makes somebody's day or maybe it doesn't, but I just was like, why am I keeping these positive thoughts about other people to myself, you know?
That is very true. I have
Yeah.
also been doing that. I don't know. I'm telling you. I think it's the whole I really love the moving with love and like I took that and I ran with it and it was one of those things that I wanted to do this year. I think spring's also like right now we move quarterly in this podcast, right? We like
Yes,
missions
we
with our
do.
seasons.
Full witchy.
Full witch quarters over here. But yeah, it's a good time to kind of like reflect on the things that you implement. So I think like our last one was like
Mhm.
before the year was over and some of the things that we wanted to bring into the new year. And I realized the other day as I was like moving through life that I was kind of already had like the mentality of those things that I was like trying to embark on, right? Like moving with love and light. And what does that mean? And how does that reflect in my life? I think that now I can see kind of like the results of that, which is really cool. I also had like my mission, my purpose, and my priorities. And the other day,
Mhm.
I was like in a club at God knows what hour of the night. And I was like, does this align with like my mission, my purpose, my priority? Like, I got shit to do tomorrow. And I was like, nope. But I literally, like, I have never thrown out my a drink, a full drink so fast. I was like, oh no, like to the garbage. I was like, and I'm getting an Uber home. So,
Woo!
we love to see the return of some of our things. This is a great time to kind of like check in with ourselves and see like how we're doing, whether you made like a New Year's resolution list or just had some things that you wanted to get done this year, like have been working on those things and how are those turning out? Has the goal changed? And that's
And
okay too.
kind of honestly, again, we're like talking about perception and stuff, babes. Like, there's no singular new year, and depending on like what culture or traditions you follow, the new year could be anytime. So, like maybe March 19th or March 20th. I forget what day this year. Actually, it depends on who's telling you? I don't know, whatever. Anyways, so like astrologically, this is the new year. Like if you're listening to this when this drops on Wednesday, like this is the new year. So if you were saying like, you know what, I didn't do great on my New Year's resolutions, quote unquote, babes, this can be your new year. And you can plant seeds now that you want to bloom in later spring, you know, because that's why astrologically this is a new year, is because this is when planters would sow seeds that they want to harvest later in the year. Okay. So, hey, babes, if you want to plant the seeds and want to be a new person, you want to write some new goals out. If you start now, by summertime, you're going to start seeing those flowers bloom.
Exactly.
So, hey, make up your own reality. And start your resolutions.
It starts now.
Literally, it starts now.
The pregame starts now. Power hour, the first sip is right now.
Power hour. Woo woo. You know what's crazy? Sometimes, okay, for people that don't know Power Hour, it's a very toxic binge drinking game where you, what is it, a sip a minute for an hour?
Or a shot of a beer
Or a
per
shot.
minute. Like sick things, okay?
But Power Hour playlists where the song changes every minute,
those were kind of fire.
Those I still use those sometimes. Like, oh hey.
You know what that's
crazy.
kind of good for?
No,
intervals.
That was gonna say, so you can do it for working out, and I do it for cleaning, okay? So sometimes if I really don't want to clean, like I don't feel like doing it, and this is what it's gonna sound like, I like a little, wow, that's wild. I do things for a minute and then I switch tasks, and you're like, that sounds crazy. But I'm telling you, by the end of the power hour, yeah, literally. But by the end of the power hour, your whole apartment is clean, and then you didn't have to do anything for longer than a minute.
You know, I resonate with that. Maybe I'll try that, because sometimes like I hate doing dishes, so I'll go and I'll do 2 dishes, and then like I'll go do another activity, and then I'll come and do more dishes. So then it doesn't feel like I'm doing dishes.
You know, actually, I also use a trick with doing dishes where I'm like, okay, I'll only do 5 dishes. And then when I get to 5, I'll like, okay, I'll start over and do 5 more. And then you do that. And then I'm being serious. Dude, fucking dishes are not fun. Who likes doing dishes, okay?
Some people do that. That's how I got into running. I used to be like, okay, I'm only going to run for 10 minutes. And then after 10 minutes, I'm like, I can run for like 5 more. After 5 more, I'd be like, I already ran for 5 minutes, but it's 5 more.
Honestly, this is a fucking goated life hack, is do something for 5 minutes and then reset. Because literally, I sometimes will be like, oh, I don't feel like going to the gym. I'm like, you know what? Why don't you go to the gym for 5 minutes? And then you're like, you know what? I'm already here. I'll just fucking go, you know? Sometimes you just need to get started.
Get started
And do it.
Let's do it. Along with like new beginnings, I think since spring is a perfect time to start things, if you're feeling some sort of like air where you're like, I'm ready for something new, I think that's just like the Holy Spirit calling you to get out there. You don't necessarily need like a whole new life goal or to move or anything. I think I like drastic changes. I really embrace change, but I know people aren't always like that. And one thing we did last year that I thought was really cool, and I can't believe that was a year ago already, is that we started trying new activities for spring. So I tried like so I tried pole, I tried Lyra, I tried like I was doing like yoga almost every morning, like morning yoga. And even though like I can't tell you that I kept up with those because my schedule just ultimately changed, those are things I enjoy, and those are things that I would still try to continue. So if you're looking for something to get you out there, I do recommend you getting some sort of like ClassPass. There's different apps. There's one that's called Mind and Body that allow you to take different classes for different things. You may find a new interest, a new community somewhere.
I honestly, you know, it's funny. I was actually thinking about that today too, because I did a Aerial Silks yoga class, and I've been doing those for like literally since last year. And I do one like once a month, twice a month, you know, and I have so much fun, but it's like really fun to have a hobby that I've not hyper fixated onto the point of monetization. Like, it's just been fun to have something that I just do. And I was like, yeah, I do it
Yeah.
sometimes because I enjoy it, but that's it. It's like purely for joy. I'm not even trying to get like good per se, you know? It's just something I do and have fun. And I would have never tried it if I didn't like make a podcast episode where we talked about trying new things.
Yeah. So trying new things is never bad. And in that, it might give you some perception or realization about trying things with new sorts of people, you know? I believe in a lot of like making space to receive. I guess we're back with our spiritual girlies. But like putting yourself out there in new places and surrounding yourself with new people. Also just like symbolic things. So right now I'm doing something I never do. I'm giving away clothing. Okay. I
Woo!
like my archives because I know I will wear it and I know that I will style it someday, but I need to let go, you know?
Dude, I almost put this in my update because I'm still salty about giving away some things in like 2013 when I graduated high school because I was like, I know this is gonna come back. I know I'm gonna wear it again, and then it did. Fucking Y2K happened, and I'm fucking pissed that I gave away all that stuff in 2013. But now I've like come around to it in 2024 where I'm like, I need to let go of this item to make room for new
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, exactly. Like, how are you gonna get new clothes if you can't even fit your old clothes in that
Yeah.
stinky little closet of yours? Okay, and I'm to really talk about mine, because it is bad in there. Okay, I have built a bad habit when I was younger about just like tossing things into my closet and getting to them later, and it is a disgusting habit that has now reached adulthood. Okay, and actually, I think this is kind of funny because I've been seeing somebody and I was like, I want to show you something. And I was like, I was show you my closet. And I was like, this is a vile part of me, but I feel like you should know before, moving forward. He still likes me. So, and things can change.
Things can change. I will say though, fucking, I'm getting older, so this is you know what I'm saying? Like, the time is now to be different if you choose.
That's true. But number one is acceptance. I'm a dirty little
Yeah.
closet bitch. Like, you know? I'm ready to change that. I'm ready to throw some things out because clearly I need to make space for new things in my life. Yeah, and Mercury retrograde is around the corner. I always bring this up because I always used to believe like this is when people spin the block. And I do believe that. But they can only spin the block if you let them, right? So I used to leave a lot of open doors. And I can tell you this Mercury retrograde, I could not fathom like anybody spinning the block because I barked at every single person that could have. And that's like kind of nice, honestly. So if you haven't done that and people like do spin the block, maybe this is time you start barking.
What the fuck
Okay?
is spin the block?
You don't know what spin the block is?
No,
When people spin the block, they spin the block like they're coming back around.
Oh, got it. Okay. Got
You're
it.
aging rapidly.
Ah! I literally am turning 30 in 4 months.
I love this for you.
Honestly, I'm excited, but I have felt like, oh my god. So honestly, I tell you, I felt old today because I didn't know about some TikTok drama, and like I got like a video like of clips from podcasts relating to a drama, and I didn't know a single person in the clip, and I was like, how old am I?
You know what? I think that is amazing, and I think you should just roll with that because that place is toxic, bro. Like, there's so many weird things on that app, and so maybe it is a good thing. It just means like you're really enjoying and living your life.
Yeah.
Truly, I truly believe that. Keep that up.
Right?
Yeah. It's funny how I think when I was younger, I used to feel like some things were like adults are like, oh my god, you don't think that's relevant? That's so wild. You're just so out of the loop. And now when I'm out of the loop, I'm like, thank God.
No, I
That just
literally
means that
was
I've
like,
been really minding on my own business.
I was literally, it like gave me a little bit of perspective because I'm like, oh my god, this must be what like older people when they see like Tana Moja like on a podcast with like Brooke and like they have no idea who she is. Like, who are these people? Who cares? I was like, how do you not know who Tana is? And then now I'm like, oh my god, I get how they don't know. They just literally don't. It just doesn't come up in their radar, their stratosphere.
And that is what I aspire to be. I honestly, I've seen a lot of different, sometimes like actors that are like, "Oh, do you use this or do you use that?" And then they're like, "No." And you know what? It's almost like inspiring because it means like there's so much going on in your life that you just don't have time to subscribe to all these other things. I like
I do too.
that.
Maybe, you know what? Maybe check out this springtime is never a bad time for like, you know, doing a little, what's it called? Not a cyber cleanse. Just go offline more. Maybe touch grass. I don't know. I think it might be a good time for.
Go touch some grass.
I don't fucking know.
You know what I think this is a perfect time for people to do? One of my friends was talking about hosting like a fairy party, like a picnic. And I was
Love
like, oh my God, I love that, right? Yeah, go outside and invite your friends so they can also get outside. Because you're probably not the only person that's been stuck inside and people need to get out. And maybe just putting some like real sprinkle magic feel in the air and your surroundings. Like, you go there, you're already kind of dressed up in a little fairy fit. Don't give a single fuck about the other people, okay? Don't worry about the other people at the park. Let them watch you. Put on a good show.
You know what? I will say, like when like somebody, you hear therapeutic advice that you're like, that makes sense in theory, but in practice, like that's a little difficult. Like if you're having like a activity like grounding, which is like go outside and put your feet on grass, where if you live in a big city, might not be as accessible as possible, but there's some real magic into putting your feet on the ground, in grass, on dirt, in the water. Connect with Mother Earth this spring, babes.
In the water. I could not agree more. I'm about to go to California for another music festival, but after this I'm done. Like I cannot. But yeah, my friend, we have like an extra day there and they're like, "What do you want to do?" I was like, "I just want to go to the beach. I just want to put my feet in the ocean." Okay?
Yeah.
I just want to sit at the beach, do nothing. Just literally just sit there for a day.
Get a sun hat and just put your feet
Put
in
on
the
some
water.
sunscreen and just vibe.
Sunscreen, toes, put your little piggies in the sand.
Yeah. And ultimately, since this is our big old pregame to the summer, one thing we like, at least I am really doing is making sure I'm healthy to fulfill all the things that I want to do this summer. So get your physical in, go get your STDs tested. Okay? Just go make sure everything's okay with you, your body, whether that is physical or mental. If you feel like there's something up, there's something you just gotta take care of it now. So, like, by the time summer comes, you're just in a different place.
Yep, I would like to recommend something that I've been doing because I don't know if I've talked about being a hypochondriac on this podcast. It might have come up. Anyways, I think I have every ailment known to man, but I've been having a symptom journal so I can keep track and have real conversations with my doctor instead of just being like, oh, sometimes this happens. I can be like, hey, so this weird thing happened after this, that sort of thing. When you have your own documentation, your doctors take you a little bit more seriously. It kind of is fucked up that you can't just like talk to your doctor, but I would recommend that.
I agree. And there's nothing more refreshing than having just negative test results, honestly. It's like nice. Like, oh, I don't have anything to worry about. Cool. You got any more things you're taking into this spring with you?
Honestly, I feel like the sunshine like lifts me up and I feel like I'm taking less things. I'm like leaving things on the ground behind me as I'm ascending into the stratosphere. You know what I'm saying? And the things that get left behind are the things that don't fucking matter, all right? Some things I just don't care about. I'm just oh, this is my big thing. So I'm getting ready to move preemptively at the end of my lease. And I've been really like holding on to like what has value like monetarily. I'm like, I'm gonna sell this versus giving this away. I've just been giving so much shit away because it's like, what's the $1,000 allegedly? These are the estimations of things. Like, I just need to give it away and let it go because it's been holding me back.
We're letting go.
Letting
Let
go.
go. Spring is the time to let it go. That energy is in the air. Just let it go. Just let it go.
Back to Marie Kondo, like that she had a little bit of a phase, like almost 10 years ago now, where it's like, does this thing bring me joy? Do a little inventory on your life of your things and things in your life. Does this version of fitness bring me joy? Maybe not. Switch it out for something else that makes more sense.
I love that. All right. Well, do what brings you joy, let go of what doesn't. Love you so much. Per usual, please subscribe. Go follow us on social media. Thanks, number 4, your concern. I'm at Bernice Ideas.
And I'm at Ella L Tutor.
Okay, toodles, bye.